What's up, yogis? You're in the machine. The biggest excuse I get from people who aren't practicing is that they just don't have time for yoga. That's baloney. You got 15 minutes to play on your phone, 15 minutes to watch TV, 15 minutes for a long shower or whatever. You got 15 minutes to dedicate to yourself. This is an easy little flow with some stretching focused on the spine, the hips, and the hamstrings. You know you got 15 minutes. Let's do this. Okay, time's a-wasting. Middle of the mat. Let's find mountain pose, feet together, pelvis tucked under neutral, shoulders up, back and down, palms face forward, as tall as you can be. Gonna warm up the spine just a little bit. Right hand will grab left wrist. We're gonna push forward, just like we're doing a cat. Tuck the tailbone even more, separate the scapula, rounding the spine forward. You can look down if you want. I'm going to look forward so it looks like I'm paying attention. From here, couple of breaths, round it, tuck the tailbone, making that big cat back with your spine. And now, inhale, reaching up. We're going to pull with the right, over to the right. So the grip is on the left wrist. Try to stay sideways. Don't lean forward or back. This is a stretch for the left side of the body. Couple of breaths here. Back upright, quick little back bend. This would be sort of like the cow. And then easy forward fold. Move it if you need to. Rising up nice and slow. Let's switch that grip. So now we're going to go left, grabbing right wrist. Forward with the push, tuck the tailbone. Separate the scapula. Try not to jam your shoulders up. Just imagine you're doing a cat pose, but you're upright. Couple of breaths here, rounding the spine, and we'll inhale up, and nice and easy side body bending. Over to the left. Left is pulling on right. Don't collapse here. Just focus on a big, giant, fat C shape as you stretch the right side of the body. Couple of breaths, always remembering to breathe. Back up, right. Easy little back bend and forward fold. Shake it out if you need to. Ragdoll it, move your head. Let's do that one more time. Rising up, right grip, left wrist. Cat pose, rounding the back, tuck the tailbone, separate the scapula, inhale up. Little side body bending to the right, pulling on the left wrist with the right grip. Back upright, easy little back bend, forward fold, warming up the hamstrings. Rising up, we'll switch that grip, left on right. Stretch it out, tuck the tailbone, separate the scapula, cat style. Inhale it up and over to the left, side body stretch on the right. Remember to breathe and back up. Easy little back bend, forward fold. Stretch it out, walk it out if you need to, shake it out. Let's rise up halfway, lift and hold. Looking down at the mat in front of you, not all the way up. Don't kink your neck. Exhale, fold again, all the way up to mountain pose, top of the mat. Let's start this easy little flow. Feet are about hip width. Big inhale, big exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, bend the knees, step the right foot back, line it up heel to heel, really wide. Looks like a runner's lunge, but we're setting up for warrior two. Nice and slow. Let's rise up with control. Use the core, use the front leg. Open it up. Here's your warrior two, warrior B. If the first one isn't very low, that's cool. We're still warming up. Settle into it, find the pose, because we're going to repeat this a whole bunch. Straighten the front leg, reverse, another little side body stretch. And then we're going to do kind of a modified triangle. So we're going to reach forward, point the right hip forward, pulling the left hip back, almost like we're facing forward, and then reach down. Big hamstring stretch. Right hand can go wherever you want it to. I'm gonna rest mine right here on my hip. If you're at your knee, that's fine. Shin, that's fine. All the way to the mat, good for you, but you're gonna try to keep facing forward. So you're pulling your left back while you're pointing your right forward. Now with that hand down, slide it to the middle, facing the side of the mat, plant, and reach. Left hand down, right hand up. Easy little twist. Try to keep the shoulders out of the ears. Driving right or driving left, reaching right. And now we're going to sweep it down, back to the lunging position, hands inside of the leg. Drop the knee. Easy little lizard movement here. You can be high, you can be low, you can be behind. It's your practice. Just remember to breathe. And now we'll set the right hand out to the right a little bit. Press the left on the left knee. Crooked monkey. Push as far as you want. Your arm doesn't have to go straight. Try not to jam the shoulders though. And it's a little stretch for the hip and a little bit of a twist so you can kind of look up. Now if you're not warm, this part could be kind of tough. You might have to spring off the back leg. Plant your hands. Step the right foot up. Yogi Squat. Settle in where it feels good. Might not be all that low. This is compression. Remember, flexibility and range is about extension and compression. How far can you open? How far can you close? Remember to breathe, and guess what? We're going to repeat on the other side. So nice and easy. Find our way back up to a standing position. Feet are still, hip width, forward fold. And bend the knees, step in the left back, line it up heel to heel, really far, farther than you think, to set up a nice deep warrior B. Rise up slow, nice and easy, engage the core, engage the quads. Arms out. Warrior B on the opposite side. Facing forward, arms in opposite directions. Settle in, because we're going to do it again. Straighten the front leg. Reverse, another little side body stretch. And now we reach forward, pull the right hip back. Drive the left hip forward, reach as far as we can. Whatever you get, you get. Don't smash into your knee, but if you have to be at your thigh, nobody cares. Shin, foot, floor. Left hand does what it wants to, but keep pulling that right hip back. Even if it means you adjust your stance a little, try to keep your hips facing forward. And now with this right hand down, we'll face the other side of the mat. Plant the right, reach the left. Keep the shoulders off the ears. Driving for a twist. And now swing the left inside the right foot with both palms. Easy little lizard. So stretch for the psoas, that flexor on the back leg. As long as you're feeling that, you're doing the right thing. You can be low, you can be high, whatever works for you. Maybe a little adjustment of the left hand out as we push the right knee with the right. Little crooked monkey. Try not to jam the shoulders. If you can straighten out the arm, good for you. Maybe a little twist. And we'll face forward, plant the hands, step it up or bounce it up or whatever it takes. Finding that yogi squat. Settle in. Ooh, starting to feel good. Let's do it again. Breathe. Remember, in your squat, it's okay to be a little high with the hips or a little high with the heels, but you shouldn't be high with both. Or maybe you should. It's still your yoga. Let's rise up nice and easy, back to a standing position, bringing the feet hip width, and we'll fold again. Plant the palms, bend the knees, stepping the right foot back, line up the heels, deeper than you think, because we're going to rise up nice and easy, finding warrior B. Maybe this time you're a little bit lower. Arms in opposite directions, shoulders over hips. Let's straighten the front leg, reverse, and then reach. Try to square the hips to the front of the mat. Left hip back, right hip forward. Reach for whatever you can and do what you want with your right hand. You can reach them both forward. You can reach the right up. I'm gonna rest it here on one of my big holiday buns. Big time hamstring stretch for the front leg. Now that this left hand's already down, let's face the side of the mat. Plant the left, reach the right. Remember to breathe, a little spinal twist. If you feel like your hips are really chasing the circle, straighten them back out a little bit, even if it means you don't reach quite as far with the right. And now let's sweep it down. Both hands inside the left foot. Plant the right knee. Little lizard action here. If you're getting low, sometimes that foot, that high knee will try to flex out. Squeeze it back in, because we're going to flex it out in just a second with this crooked monkey. Back up. Right hand maybe out a little as a kickstand. Push the left knee with the left hand. Kind of a 2-for-1. It gets the back hip and the front hip. Look up if you want to. Remember to breathe. And now, let's find this Yogi Squat. Stepping the right foot up. Settle in. Hips are low. We're aiming for a straight back here, but not necessarily a vertical spine. Some people can, but when I try to get vertical, this happens. And that doesn't look very cool. Remember to breathe. Could be the weight of my buns that haul me back. I kind of have to counter with a little weight forward. And now, let's repeat on the other side. Rising up, placing the feet parallel, hip width, forward fold. Plant the hands, bend the knees, step the left foot back really far, lining up the heels roughly. Nice and easy. Let's rise up with control. Core, front leg. Reach in opposite directions. Warrior B, Warrior 2, Warrior Dose, whatever you call it, or Rose by any other name. Shoulders are still over hips, and we'll reach. Side body stretch on the right, and now reach forward with the right. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Huge hamstring stretch on the front leg. Hand goes where it goes. Usually we just try to keep weight off the knee, but that's still not the end of the world. Yoga teachers talk like you're going to need knee surgery if you do this. It just puts pressure on that you don't want. So pick a little lower or a little higher, or all the way down if you're super cool. Remember to breathe. Since the right hand is down, let's slide it over. Other side of the mat. Press the right. Reach the left. Remember to breathe. And we'll swing it. Plant the hands inside the right foot. Drop the back knee. Little lizard pose here. You can lift the back leg for more. You can get lower for more. You can reach behind for more. Whatever feels good for you. Remember, if that knee tries to push out, squeeze it back in toward the shoulder, and let's press it up. Left hand out a little to the left. Drive the right. Remember to breathe. That's a great little easy flow to remember, like 7 steps or so. You could do it a bunch more times. You could do it just once. You could use this as a morning wake up, as a cool down after training, as a warm up for really intense training. Hatha yoga is good for anything and everything. Let's plant the hands, stepping it up. Fine Yogi Squat. Settle in. Really quick stretch for the quads, hamstrings, and hips. So stepping the right foot back, knee down. We're going to sit on that back heel, straighten the front leg, and reach. So we're a little bit off of center here. Not the greatest form, but a great stretch. So it's very similar to what we just did standing. except now we don't have to deal with balance. We're just gonna reach. Maybe for you that means this. Maybe it's way out here. Maybe you make a cool mudra with your grip. The stretch is your stretch. Breathe into it. Reach down as far as you can. Once you've maxed out, if you're low enough, maybe you drop your head, nose to knee, forehead to shin, whatever works. Hold this as long as you want, but the next step is for the quad. It gets ignored a lot. We're gonna move our buns off of that heel to the mat. Double kickstand behind. You can go back as far as you want, but if you get to where you feel some tension and then tuck the tailbone, almost like you're trying to bring your groin up, like your buns come off the mat, that really adds to the intensity of this quad stretch. And from here, an easy little super modified pigeon. I call it the S position, because at least with the left forward, this kind of makes an S. So all I do is lean up, the legs make the shape of an S, and from here I can lean a little forward, a lot forward, all the way down. Just like in pigeon, the idea is that the lower leg is a lever to stretch the hip. So this one's a little easier to control than pigeon. You can be way out here if you're tight. You can be way down here if you're a little more open. Remember to breathe. Settle into this for as long as you want, but I promise 15 minutes, so we gotta switch to the other side. Nice and easy. Bring this left foot under, right foot forward, back with your buns on your left heel, right leg is straight, and reach. Actually, let's line it up with a straight back and then reach. Just like we did standing, but now we can get even more intense because one, we're warm, and two, we're not dealing with balance. Maybe you're way up here, maybe you're way down here, maybe you kiss your own shin. Whatever works for you. When you've had enough and it's even on both sides, we're gonna move the buns off of the heel to the mat. Little hurdler type stretch. Plant double kickstands, lean back. Maybe you want to go all the way back. Good for you. But for here, I'm going to go back about halfway and then tuck the tailbone. Remember, tailbone under you, posterior tilt. Just like you're trying to drive your groin to the ceiling, really adds to the stretch. Quads don't get much attention in yoga, kind of like triceps, because we close the joint and we think that's it. But if you move a little more in the adjoining joints, you'll find you can achieve a stretch. Now this S seat, which is a little problematic with the right foot forward because it's not really an S, but we'll keep calling it an S. Bring the right foot in, left foot back a little, kind of like a backwards S, I guess. And lean down, forward, to the side, left, right, whatever stretches it for you. So I tend to be a little tighter on the right, but it's a lot like a pigeon, usually with less pressure on the front knee and no stretch for the back psoas muscle, but it's good for the hip. Remember to breathe, settle into this as long as you want. You can always go through this routine again or chop it in half or add more stretches, but this is proof that if you have 15 minutes for other stuff, you have 15 minutes for yoga. Usually we do some hippie business here with a few breaths, but I know the clock is ticking, so don't forget to like and subscribe if you're into the machine, and ring the little bell to keep up with what I'm doing.
But the whole point of the machine is to relieve you of that suffering.